Hey folks, how are you doing? Look at this. Oh my goodness. It's 8 o'clock at night. It's Saturday. Some of you might have better things to do. I worked on the Jeep for a little bit for my daughter, taking the engine apart and that thing, redoing the timing set. And so I worked on the Jeep. I made dinner for my family. Wonderful, wonderful pasta dinner. A little bit of wine, not gonna lie, had a little Shiraz. It was delightful. Went out and worked on the Jeep a little bit more, and and then I thought, why don't we jump on here impromptu with an unscheduled live? And this is why I am I am seeing I'm seeing an unbelievable amount of stuff in my feed, and I've actually systemically tried to not respond, like not post, not like, not share, not comment, not because I'm trying to clean my feed up. My feed is full of nonsense. And, the Charlie Kirk, the execution of Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie Kirk was, it's been over a week. I'm not healed from it. I'm not. It's funny. People ask about this Hortman lady who was killed with her husband. And they say, well, where was your outcry then? Why so much agony for Charlie? And you don't care about anybody but yourselves. Well, Charlie came into our homes across the nation. Charlie put himself out there. Charlie presented Christ to thousands and thousands of people. Charlie gave the microphone to his opposition and amplified them and gave them the opportunity for verbal discourse. And what I'm seeing is, for instance, AOC jumps on TV and she says, Charlie was against the civil rights movement that gave blacks the right to vote. Okay, the civil rights movement didn't give blacks the right to vote. They had the right to vote 100 years before that. This woman is deranged, and she's given a platform, and she says things that are crazy. And so rather than get wrapped up in those distractions, because that's all that is a distraction. Like, that's crazy, right? She's nuts. That's a distraction. Ilmar, she's nuts. That's a distraction. My message is how do we focus on what's important? And I might have fallen for the hyperbole in this one. If you see the thumbnail, if you see the name of the thing, are we safe? Are we safe from danger? And what I'm talking about is I am more verbal than ever about my love for Christ, my walk with God, how I lead my family, how I'm involved with the people at my church. I've opened myself up. I said, hey, if you're, here's what I'm seeing in my feed. Part of what I'm seeing in my feed is people saying, I haven't been to church in 20 years. I went to church for the first time last week. I haven't opened a Bible ever. And I opened the Bible. One guy got online and he said, I've never read the Bible, so I got a Bible and I opened to the book of Job. I thought, oh my goodness, why the book of Job? Of all the books, why the book of Job? But here's what's happening is people, and I don't want to just say on the left. I don't want to say people on the left, people on the right, blah, 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 blah. People that are critical of Charlie have never listened to Charlie. That's the truth. The truth is, if you had listened to Charlie, you would have seen a human being with grace. You would have seen a human being that exercised love above everything, who was not for violence, who gave everybody a chance to speak, and educated people from a position of love. And was he pro-family? Absolutely. Was he anti-trans? Absolutely. Was he this? Was he that? Absolutely. But he also said, at the same time, you are a human being. You are someone of value. You are someone that the Lord loves. You are someone that the Lord would love to bring into the family. It's not, Christianity is not exclusive. We don't run people out of Christianity. It's open, but you have to accept God and Jesus and all that. You have to accept it. And God will take you just as you are. He just might not leave you the way you were. And Charlie was very upfront about that. And people did not like the truth coming to them in such a way. Now, as I said in one of my lives, Second Thessalonians says, for people that reject the truth, for people that refuse to believe, God will give them a grand delusion. So when I see people like Ilmar speak or AOC speak or some of these other people speak, I think to myself, I actually feel sorry for them because I'm like, they're suffering from a grand delusion. They are so far removed from reality that they can't understand reality. They're so far gone that it's hard to picture them coming back. But it would take a great work for them to turn the corner and to come in the right direction because they are so far gone in the other direction. We have family members here in my own home. We have family members that are like, I don't believe in going to church. I think that's a bastardization of faith or whatever. It's like, wow, okay, you have been in the secular world too long, right? And to me, it's sooner or later you will reject God. You'll reject God enough that he'll give you this grand delusion. Because here's the deal. God will give you what you want. If you want to be with him and you want to be close and you want to have a loving relationship and you want to have eternity with him, he's going to give that to you. And if you don't want it, if you don't want anything to do with him, he'll give you that too. See, and that's the scary part. And so when I say, are we safe from danger? I'm saying this in a very out there, thoughtful kind of way. Are we safe from danger? Let's say somebody goes nuts in my town and, shoots up the church. And let's say I get shot. Am I safe from danger? No, I'm not. Let's just face facts. I'm not, right? We see stuff in social now all the time. Apparently killing people on social media is a big thing now. We replay the videos over and over and over again. That poor girl on the subway dying by herself as people stare at their phones and look out the window. That's otherworldly to me. I can't imagine that we've come that far. I struggle with that. But are we safe from danger? And here's where my definition of danger changes speeds, changes gears. You've heard me say before, if you followed me for any length of time, you've heard me say, I can do anything for a short amount of time. I can do anything for a short amount of time. That's why I finished all my Spartan races. I would sign up for, a Spartan Super, and I'd be out there running and diving through the mud and climbing the ropes and doing the burpees and throwing the spear. And never failed, halfway through each of these events, I would get really frustrated. I would be like, I can't believe I signed up for this. Oh my God, this was so stupid. But I hate this. And I'm thinking, oh, why did I do this? And then it would hit me. I can do anything for a short amount of time. I'm almost done. And when I'm done, I'm going to have the feeling of accomplishment. So all I got to do is finish this thing. You see, I think my walk with Christ is a lot like that. My walk with Christ, sometimes there's things I'm not into. Sometimes there's things where I do think to myself, wow, does that really seem right? Is that really the way that should go? Is that what a loving God would do? And then I have to remind myself, I didn't make the rules. He made the rules. He made the rules. Someone had to be sacrificed to atone for sins, and he sent his own son to do it for us. When Jesus was here, when Jesus was walking the earth, did he walk around all the time saying, am I safe from danger? No, he did what he needed to do while he was here. And I think for a certain extent, he was like, I can do anything for a short amount of time. And what I had to convince myself of over time was all of our life is a short amount of time. In retrospect to how long eternity is, everything here is a short amount of time. I can do anything for a short amount of time. So this leads me to a thought. Like I said, I'm seeing all these videos, all these people opening their Bibles for the first time, going to church for the first time, going to the Charlie Kirk vigils for the first time. Let's be clear. People like AOC and Ilmar, they are telling people that Charlie was hateful, that he had hate speech and he was a racist. He was a dirty, filthy racist. And they're saying these things. So people are going and looking stuff up, and they're watching videos of Charlie Kirk. And now they're hitting TikTok, and they're hitting Instagram, and they're hitting Facebook, and they're saying, I did a deep dive and I watched about 10 hours of Charlie Kirk videos. He didn't say anything racist. He didn't say anything hateful. He didn't say anything out of step at all. And we killed him. And there's people that saw themselves in that lane. Again, I don't want to put labels on things, but there's lanes, right? There's lanes we all take. And there's some people that pictured themselves being in a certain lane. And when Charlie got shot, they said, oh, he had it coming. He was full of hate speech. He was a racist. He pushed everybody's buttons. Sooner or later, somebody was going to take him out. And they never watched the videos. They never heard him speak. And so now that he has been executed in cold blood by a murderer, and people are speaking ill of him in death, unbelievable to me, unbelievable. Let's be clear, when this Hortman lady and her husband were shot, and my understanding it was some kind of appointee from the Tim Walz committee or whatever, right? But let's forget all the politics. Let's just say the lady's shot, her and her husband are shot. I don't remember anyone in my lane. I don't remember anybody in my lane jumping online and going, oh, thank God someone finally took her out. She had it coming. She said too many things. No, that didn't happen. But when Charlie got shot, people were like, oh, he had it coming. He was a racist. He was angry. He was just horrible. He was a monster. And now what people are seeing is, in retrospect, they're seeing these people say vile things. In that lane, they're seeing leadership in that lane say vile things about a man who's not even buried yet. And they're starting to have like a cognitive dissonance, right? They're starting to go, wait a minute. This, what they're saying and what I'm seeing, there's no alignment. Things don't make sense. And people are vapor locking. They're having a hard time with it. And I'm trying to be gracious in this moment. I'm trying to be like, hey, I'm here for you. And so I'm going to say it again. I can't believe I'm putting this link out here for people. If you go to manananomas.com/chat, if you need to have a conversation with somebody about something, you can do that. So my link here is at the bottom. It's Manana No Mas. My website is manananomas.com. Now, if you do a /chat after that, manananomas.com/chat, you can get a 30-minute session with me that is no charge. And I'm not looking to have arguments. I'm not looking to have a debate. I'm here to answer questions. Like if you're like, I've never been to church before and I don't know how to go. I got my first Bible. I don't know where to start. I'm confused. I'm confused because what I see about Charlie isn't what they tell us about Charlie. If those are the things that are happening with you, I want to make sure that somebody, doesn't have to be me, but I want to make sure that somebody is there to help you, to serve you in that way. And so that's there for you. If you need to book a chat, do it. manananomas.com/chat. We've already had a few chats booked. We've already got them on the schedule. It's great. Now it's an automated scheduling system. So as the slots fill up, it might push back, 5 days, 6 days, 10 days. Don't lose your patience. Don't lose patience with me. I'm just one person. I'll do what I can in this. But here's where I wanted to go with, and this is what was hitting me today. And I was trying to say this to my wife in a way that made sense earlier. And, in scripture, it says what God meant, what people meant for evil, God can make good, right? What people meant for evil, God can make good. And we say that a lot, but like, where does that come from? And so I wanted to bring over a verse, and it's from Genesis 50, verse 20. Genesis 50, verse 20. And so Joseph is telling his brothers, he says, you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. You see, his brothers were sick of him. His brothers hated him. And to be honest, they were probably somewhat justified in their feelings for him. But having feelings about something and then taking action about something are two different things. So his brothers got together, chucked him in a hole, and then when some slave traders came by, they said, "Oh, hey, let's just sell him. Let's just sell him. We don't have to leave him in a pit to die. Let's just sell him. They'll take him to another country. He'll be a slave, and we can go tell Dad that animals ate him or something." And they did that. And then Joseph went to Egypt, and he ended up like running the place, right? And as he was running the place, he put into practice processes and procedures in Egypt that saved, I mean, we say thousands, but it's probably millions of lives. He kept people from famine, and he was in charge of the storing of food and the delivery of food and things like that. And so when his brothers were starving and went to Egypt to make a trade or to ask for assistance, they had to meet with Joseph. And Joseph said, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Now, I don't want to lose the plot there and just say that it was just the Old Testament. There's a verse in Romans. Some people really like the New Testament. And so there's a verse in Romans, and it says, "And now we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Now, Romans is a great book in the Bible. It's a wonderful book in the Bible. It's where the Romans road comes from. And the Romans road says, we have all sinned and fall short of God, right? We've all sinned. It says, boom, we've all sinned. And then it tells, that we're all saved. Like God has all saved us as well. Right? There's verses in Romans. It's called the Romans Road. You could follow the Romans Road. In fact, if you're interested in knowing what the Romans Road is, book that chat with me. Book that chat with me. I'd love to walk you through what the Romans Road is and then ask you some questions and see like, hey, are you ready to make a decision to follow Christ and do these things and adopt some of the ideals and some of the wisdom that you saw Charlie Kirk execute in those debates? People are upset. Obviously, people are upset. Charlie's gone. But what a legacy to leave behind. What a legacy to leave behind. Turning Point is doing great. His wife has become the new CEO. She's done a phenomenal job as a spouse. Oh my goodness. What a thing to live up to, right? As a man, to live up to the idea that you could die and your wife would talk about you and fill your shoes the way Erica has done for Charlie. It's amazing to see. It's amazing to see. I mean, he's only been dead a week. And she's knocking it out of the park. She's amazing. And so bear with me on this. People are going to give me some pushback. When we're born, God's got like a timer on us. Your day is going to come when your day is going to come. I said from the beginning, I don't really feel sorry for Charlie. He was doing what he loved to do. He was sharing the Lord in his last minutes. He got shot and died quickly. I mean, I would much rather get shot and die quickly than have some, agonizing, painful cancer event that takes 3 years to die from. What I feel sorry for is the people that were left behind. Charlie's last breath on earth was his first breath in his Savior's arms, being welcomed, being told, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." And that's for all eternity. Like I said, we can do anything for a short amount of time. And in retrospect, in comparison to eternity, our time here on earth is very short. So sometimes we feel like we're in agony here. What we really need to understand is we're just here for a short time. It all works out in the end. And when I say, are we safe from danger? Who cares? Who cares? In the note that I put at the bottom of the thing, in the show notes, I put, are we safe from danger? And should we care? Should we even care about it? I, for one, don't care about it. I really don't care. I joke around with my wife all the time. I say I'm up for a shortcut home whenever he calls me. I'm up for a shortcut home whenever he calls me. Do I feel sorry for the people left behind? Yes, yes, I do. But I know that my last breath on earth will become my first breath with my Savior. So are we safe from danger? What is the danger? What's the danger? If I have love from my Lord, love with my family, what danger is there? There is no danger. That's it. My philosophical thoughts of a Saturday night. Hope you folks have a great, great, great night. Hope you're having a great weekend. I'll probably see you sometime on Monday. Have a good one. Bye-bye.